What is up, guys? So there's a few things that I want to talk about today. Just a bit of general chat, really. Maybe a few little anecdotes from my time as an addict. My hair has grown back sufficiently enough now. I don't have to do my Darren G impression and wear a hat. I've got the finest bling on. 23 carat plastic. The reason why I wear these is because it invites comments. You know, people will see me doing a video and they break their leg running down to the comments so they can tell me how ridiculous I look. You know, like, oh, this guy dresses like a teenager and all that. So, you know, if you get more comments, as far as I know, it helps your channel. So that's why I wear these things. But anyway, I want to start off with, there's been a school shooting in America. It never fails to disgust me when I see that sort of stuff. That wrestling incident with a guy, Raja, who beat that wrestler half to death while he was unconscious. There's been a few developments on that. He still hasn't been arrested. And yeah, just talk a little bit about when I was out and about yesterday and I was going past the industrial sites, and it reminded me of when I was a junkie. So we'll start with the wrestling now. It's disgusting what's happening. Everybody saw what happened, right? The guy's gone in, knocked him out with a slam, beat him half to death because he felt disrespected, and everybody's outraged, everybody's disgusted because it's attempt murder. It's disgusting, beating an unconscious man. Any normal person will think that's disgusting. This guy needs prison. But now I've noticed all the black dudes from wrestling, they're all defending him, saying, oh, well, you shouldn't mess with him. You know, what do you expect? He got a concussion or something 2 days ago. Making excuses for this guy. And there was one guy, an MMA guru, I think his name is. He's got a YouTube channel and he has an opinion on MMA. And he said, this is what most of us are thinking. This is disgusting. You know, this guy needs locking up. And then they went to Rampage, his dad, Rampage Jackson, who's a UFC champion fighter, or used to be, and he was saying, what do you think? And he says, oh yeah, well, he's just showing he's racist, isn't he? And it's like, how, that's what's wrong with this country, that's what's wrong with the world now, not just this country, it happens over here as well, but in America, trying to spin a race thing on it. You know, what this guy did was absolutely vile. He's beat an unconscious man half to death. He wasn't really a fighter. He was an ex-veteran with PTSD. Took advantage of him, knocked him out and beat him half to death. A normal person would say, that's disgusting. This guy needs prison. But, you know, they're saying, oh, no, it's because you're racist. And it's the same thing over here. If ever any, like, Muslims or any migrants commit crime, do the grape gangs and all that sort of stuff. I have to be careful what I say. And then you say, hang on a sec, this isn't right. This straight away, well, racist. It's because you're racist. I get it on this channel. I did a video about Danny G like a couple of days ago. There was somebody in the comments saying, oh, bad racist, you. It's like, what are you on about? It's common sense, is it not? When you turn the TV on, there's some migrants raping fucking children or running to town, stabbing kids. You know, it's a normal reaction to be outraged. It's not because I'm racist. It's not because we're, you know, it's just. But that's the world now, and they're trying to spin it into a race thing. I never even noticed like this. It was a black dude beating a white dude up, but I never even noticed it until they started going on about it. And it's because they're racist. That's the thing. Because, you know, they think. That's how racists think. So they think that that's how we think, but it's not. And they're spinning this race thing on it. So if you see someone beat someone half to death, if he's a black dude and you're disgusted by it, then that's because you're racist, not because you've got common sense. It seems to be lacking these days, doesn't it? But anyway, that's what's been happening. He hasn't been arrested yet. Probably won't. He'll probably get away with it. But if it were down to me, I'd give him 10 years in prison because that's one of the most disgusting things that I've ever seen. You know, it was just fucking vile. But anyway, on to the school shooting, talking about vile. It never fails to disgust me when I see a school shooting. It's disgusting, horrible behaviour. And it's some fucking trans dude who hates the world, so he has to go and shoot up a children's school. And for me, there needs to be more than just a normal punishment for these guys. Because at the moment, what they do is, if somebody does something like that little dork, they're always little dorks, aren't they? That little dork, Nick Cruz, fucking went into a school, shot like 19 kids, and he's in isolation now. And that's what they do. They put him in isolation, they keep him safe, which, to be thinking about it, you know, isolation is a bad punishment. Just imagine sat in a room for the rest of your life with no contact with anybody. It'll send you mad. So it is a bad punishment. But for me, if it was me, I'd give him to the cartel and say, here, you deal with him. Get Funky Town on him. Give him a Ghost Rider or something like that. Or just put him on normal location. Just say, okay, you want to go into schools, you want to fucking start popping off little kids, because there was tiny little kids, and the fucking 2 of them got killed. It's sickening, and it just makes me mad. And what they need to do is stick them on normal locations. Say you want to go around doing stuff like that, you want to act like an animal, then your human rights have been revoked. You ain't got no human rights. You're going on normal location and let them deal with you. See how tough they are then, because they don't play that in America. Is they'll absolutely destroy him, and rightly so. But for me, there needs to be something more. Needs to be more of a deterrent. I don't know how they're going to stop these school shootings, because there's been a while since they've had one. I can keep talking about I live in America, but you know what I mean. I've been watching a lot of American stuff with the Donald Trump thing, and he's clearing up the street. So I'm sure he'll have an opinion on this. I'm sure he'll do something, because that's what he has. He's been doing things, hasn't he? I wish our government would do things, but they're too scared of being racist or homophobic. Ugh, fuck off. But yeah, I don't know how they're gonna, what they're gonna do. All they can do, in my opinion, is lock the schools down, and that's it. Once you're in, you're in. Lock all the doors, sheets down on the doors. It's sad, it's pathetic that they have to do this, but there's a lot of fucking angry dorks out there, and that's the thing with a gun, with like an AR-15. You can take some nerdy little crank, give him an AR-15, and he's a killing machine. And but you talk about Americans and say, listen, you need to ban guns. They look at you sideways. They look at you boz-eyed like you're talking crazy. You know, they love the guns. But we've proven that you don't need to live with guns, even though we've got an epidemic of knife crime. So it's not really done much good, but you don't need guns. Just imagine what it'd be like if they had fucking guns in England. Fucking hell, it'd be carnage, wouldn't it? So I think all they can do is like lock the schools down, put the shutters down. Once you're in, you're in. And then when it's own time, let you go. That's going to cause a lot of complications. People saying, oh, it feels like prison. But you know, drastic times call for drastic measures. Other than that, maybe give the teachers like a lockbox with an AR in it for themselves. And then if some school shooter comes running in, just fucking get them popped off before they get a chance to kill anyone. I never understand it. I get angry, I get upset when I kill it. When, you know, if a pigeon dies, I'm upset. So I can't imagine killing children. I stood on one the other day. I was gutted for about 3 days. Fucking, I was wounded. I don't know how it got out. We've got little baby pigeons in the nest, and it must have like waddled and fell on the floor. And I've come in, and I'm watching the door to make sure there's no pigeons get out. And I felt something crunch under my foot. I was like, it's a fucking baby pigeon. I was fucking wounded, man. So I can't imagine like killing someone, let alone. It doesn't bear thinking about, does it? But yeah, I don't know how they're gonna tackle this problem. But they've got to do something. They can't keep going through this, man. It's been a while since we've had one, since they've had one, but you know, it's tragic, absolutely tragic. And yeah, talking about prison, what they need to do is they need to put them on normal location, because there are people in prison who are obsessed with getting hold of grasses and wrong and I think in American prisons now, if I'm not mistaken, they smash you even just for doing drive-by shootings. Even that's seen as a wrong charge now in America. So yeah, there are people that really search out for wrong-uns, grasses, nonsense. It's the same in England. I've never really been into that sort of stuff. I was when I first got locked up. I was running around with the Donny lads thinking I was fucking Jack the Lad. I would beat this kid up in the showers for being a grass. And then it turns out he wasn't a grass. And I felt guilty then, and then I got out, I got back on drugs, got all fucked up with crack and smack, and then got remanded again, and I was all skinny and emaciated, and I went back into the prison on the wing where that kid still was, you know, and now he was all hench, he'd been going to the gym, and he had his own little crew there. So now it's the tides have turned. Now he's with his boys and I'm on my own, all fucked up. And he came in the cell. He says, "Remember when you did me and when saying I was a grass?" I was like, "No, don't know what you're on about, me." Straight up denied it. And he says, "Listen, we could fucking do you in here, but we're not gonna." He says, "Just tell your mates I'm not a grass. You know, you got it wrong." And I says, "Oh, all right then, yeah, all right." And then as he was going, his mates were saying, "Oh, we're going to fucking do him in." But they didn't. And he's lucky that they didn't, because about 2 or 3 weeks later, we all got moved onto another wing, and it was a Donny lad. It was a Donny wing. Everybody on there were Donny lads, you know. It was people I used to go to school with, and you know, all the top boys from Donny were on there. So if he had done me in when we got moved over there, he would have got smashed in return. But it never came to that, you know. He was the bigger man. And that like made me think, fucking hell, man, I could have got slashed up, I could have got battered over what? Beating someone up who wasn't even a grass anyway. So, you know, I'm not into that sort of stuff anymore. But you know, it's like when I'm in jail, I don't want beef with no one. I don't want to fight no one. If someone says they can beat me in a fight, I'll agree with them and say, "Yeah, you're truly strong. you win." I'm not interested. But even me, you know, even I got tested. And usually, because the thing with me is, right, because I'm skinny, I'm polite, I'm well-spoken, I'm respectful, that can be taken as a weakness. So people do tend to take the piss. And there's been times when you have to stand up for yourself, and usually all it takes is a jab. Because I have got a good jab. It's very, what's the word? You know, it's very, you know, it doesn't match my physique type thing. It's I don't know why, it's just a really good jab. And it's like, the way I can do it, it's like, the way I can describe it is, it's like a whipping, you know, like a whip. I've got that kind of power. And every now and again, someone will take the piss and take the piss and take the piss, and I'll have to just give him a quick jab, and that usually sorts it out, because, you know, they're shocked and surprised, like, fucking hell, what was that? And then that's it, it's over, they leave you alone. I've had to do that a couple of times. There was one kid who kept nicking my mattress, and I was laughing at first, yeah, funny, but then there was pushing him to do more and more, and he kept doing it and do it. So in the end, I just jumped up and just fucking gave him a quick jab, and that was it, done. And it happened again in Ramby. I remember it happened in Ramby, but you know, this kid, he was messing with me, but not to the level where I felt disrespected. Like, I've got to fucking dose this kid. It was like, you know, he's getting there. He's more and more, he's coming in my cell and taking stuff without asking. And I'm like, don't really want to fucking do out here, but I can't let you keep doing that. And so I thought I'd just give him a warning shot, because he was a Donny lad as well. So what I did, I can't remember exactly what happened, but something happened, and I just like give him a jab, like in the middle of his chest, you know, took his breath away, and I remember he was like, couldn't breathe, and then after that, he didn't bother me again. You know, he was sound as a pound. And I remember for the next 3 weeks, every morning he would come to my cell and he'd say, "Look at that," and show me his bruise on his chest, and he was like, "That's from your fucking skinny knuckles." And it went really black, and then it went like purple, and then it went fucking green. And he was showing me it every day. So yeah, even I got fucking tested. But there are people that go around really, really searching to beat up wrong-uns and looking for trouble, and so that's what they should do with school shooters: stick them on normal location and let them mess with him. But anyway, those days are behind me now. There's no more prison for me, unless something from like COVID comes back to bite me, because I was doing a lot of stealing. I was still an addict then, so I was robbing stuff, and I know I've got to have me on camera somewhere. And I know there's a big backlog because of COVID, so I'm wondering maybe there's something, they've got something and they've just not come for me yet. But hopefully they don't. And yesterday I was out. I went to get some shoes, some comfy trainers for the allotment, and I was going past the industrial estate, and every building I went past, that's where I used to go when I was an addict. and I was like trying to steal things, and every building I went past I was like, fucking, I had a laptop out of there, I had a fucking cash tin out of there, you know what I mean? And I've caused a lot of misery in my addiction. I've stole a lot of things, you know, I'm not proud of it, I can't change it. All I can do is try and accept it and move forward from it, and you know, just try and live a better life. But there was one what kind of made me chuckle, and it was this one place where I went in, and what would happen is like, I'd go out grafting, and sometimes it'd get to like 5 o'clock in the afternoon and I ain't got out. I'm like, fucking hell, I'm just starting to rattle, starting to detox. I was like, fuck, and then I start getting desperate and I start walking into places. And it'll be, because it's tea time, like sometimes you'll walk into a place and everybody's gone out, but it's still open because there's one guy still working like right in the corner. And that's what happened. And I've gone into this place, and a little tip, what I used to do is, if ever I come across a laptop or computer screen or whatever, cash tin, I would never put it in my bag. I would always put it down my top, because if somebody catches you, they'll say, oh, well, let's look in your bag. And if you've got it in your bag, they'll find it, you know, and then you're busted, the phone police. So, yeah, I've gone in this place, and I've gone upstairs, and there's nobody there. I was like, fucking hell, this is great. Right in the corner, there was someone working. He didn't even notice me. So anyway, I've got this fucking laptop, put it down my top. And as I'm walking out, I thought, fuck it, I'm going to nip into the toilet. Because when you're detoxing, when the rattle's going to kick in, you know, you're not constipated anymore. So you need the toilet quick. So I shot into the toilet. Should never have done that. I should have just fucking bailed and then gone to the toilet later. But, you know, you get fucking really bad stomachache. So I jumped in the toilet. As I'm coming out, he was there. I was like, no. And he's like, what you up to? I says, I've just come to use the toilet, mate. I'll be on my way. And he's like, well, you know, something not right. And he kind of knew that I'd nicked something, but he couldn't prove it. So he says, let me look in your bag. I said, no, it's not there. I had fucking laptop down my top, and I'd stuck the charger in my sock. I'd just done it in the toilet, so I was lucky there. And he wouldn't, you know, he wouldn't have it. He was like standing in front of me, and he's like, no, something's not right. I says, well, phone police then. I ain't done it wrong. And he's like, well, I want to take a photo of you. So I was like, all right then. Fucking, I bet I looked a right state, skinny as fuck, big long hair, scruffy fucking crackhead, looking like Scotty G. So he took a photo of me, and then I went on my way. And I'm sure, like, the next day he'd have come in, oh, someone nicked a laptop last night, but I fucking got him here. But I don't know if anything came of that. I probably did. But see, I've been fucking locked up that many times. It all just, you know, it's so many times I've been locked up. It's all fucking jumbled. I couldn't tell you what charges I've been in for. There's that many. There's that many burglaries, fucking commercial burglaries. I don't do houses. Not that commercial burglaries are any better. Shoplifting, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I'm sure I probably got caught with it, probably got sent to prison. But yeah, I went past that place yesterday and it just made me chuckle. There was just so many places. It's like every single place there's some crazy drug story attached to it. One of my favourites was when I went into, it was the same sort of thing. It was like night time, everybody had gone home, but I went in to use the toilet, and there was this door open and the light was on, and I just fucking looked round and there was envelopes on the table. So I've gone in, grabbed the envelopes, I didn't even look in them, and just shot off. And I was going home, I felt and I was starting to feel sick and miserable. I was like, ugh. And then I felt my pocket, I was like, oh yeah, I fucking poured it out, and it was full of £20 notes. I was absolutely buzzing. I fucking ran home, yeah. And you know, sometimes it happens like that. You know, you get towards the end of the day and you think, oh my, because you always manage to find the money. It's weird. And I got to the end of the day, I was like, something will happen. You know, the universe will open up and throw you a bone, and all the stars will align, and you'll end up getting your money for your hit. But anyway, yeah, that's the video for today. So if you like this video, press the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. And I was going to do another Danny G video, but he's not really been up to much, has he, since his early morning shadowboxing, fucking swinging a golf club thing when someone stole this pillar. But I'm going to have a look now, see if I can find out. Bonjour.